Greetings, my name is Anonymous Andrew. Life and the Choices We Make is the name of the podcast. Well, actually, that's not true. The name of the podcast is Anonymous Andrew Podcast, but the subtitle is Life and the Choices We Make. Why am I anonymous? Long story, but you have to go back to listen to early season 1. It's all about a relationship that I got out of that I was really ashamed of, and I was really embarrassed. The woman did a lot of inappropriate, illegal things. So I took the high road, and I went with anonymity at the time because I didn't want to out her. I didn't want to out myself. But we're far from that. We're now well into season 2, and my podcast is really all about finding my next partner. But it's this world that we're in, this modern society with the dating apps and the rules and the protocols, it's just one big cluster F, you know what I mean. But you know what? I take all that and I mumble it together and I make a fun podcast out of it. I have on expert guests and I have on anonymous guests that come on and tell their stories. And on the weekends, I blow off some steam and I call it the Weekend Rant. So join me each week. I think you'll find it entertaining because I enjoy doing it and it's a lot of fun and you might just learn something. And if you've learned nothing, I will leave you with this. It is the red flags that you ignore in the beginning that will bring you down in the end. I hope you do join me, and I'll know because I'll see the numbers go up. Until next time, Anonymous Andrew. Ciao.
I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian.
And we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Thank you for joining us for another episode 80.
I know it's slowly creeping up.
We're 20 away from 100.
20 episodes.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I'm sitting here trying to do math in my head real quick. I think it'll be like the end of January. We'll do our 100th episode.
What were we going to do for it again? I forgot.
I don't remember.
It was like a meet and greet or something.
Something. I don't know.
Online
We'll
meet and
figure
greet.
it out. We'll figure it out. All right,
do
guys.
something special.
So, normal at the top of the show. If you would like, you can follow us on our socials, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, as well as watching our videos on YouTube. But I'm not popping shit up on the screen. I don't know what you're doing. I just learned how to use this new video editor. I ain't doing all that shit. You can do so by searching for the Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would like some merch, head on over to theparanormallovers.threadless.com. And I don't think we have a sale going on when this comes out, but we will have one very shortly coming up after that.
$13 shirts.
Not yet, but
Nope.
we will.
Okay.
I said very soon. If you would care to become a regular supporter, we have a Patreon. We have one $5 tier that you can try for 1 week free. Cancel if you feel it is not something you like. While there, you get early access to the unedited videos of the Paranormal Lovers, as well as a weekly episode of our true crime show, Deadly Lovers. And that's going to be changing a little bit. You're actually going to be getting 2 shows bi-weekly, where you have the Deadly Lovers, because that one can get to me a little bit. I'm going to start doing a history show as well. Going to be kind of like dark history, but without Joan and Paul. Going to be called Rethinking Our History. So that'll be coming out every other week. And that's just going to be like, hey, you know, Pocahontas wasn't her name, right?
Right.
And she was also not a woman that married that man willingly, right?
Yeah.
She was a child.
Coke used to have Coke.
Coke used to have Coke. Coke was wine when it was
Right.
first created.
Mhm.
And it had Coke to help people get off of meth.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, come on over there and figure that out. And lastly, if you have a personal true crime or paranormal story you would like to have read on an episode of Paranormal Personals, you have a topic request, or you just want to yell at us for our super liberal opinions, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. What promo do you have for us this week, Bill?
Okay, this week I listened to a podcast called Anonymous Andrew, and it was a good podcast. I really liked his intro. He's got like a heavy metal intro, so
Yeah.
it's like dun, 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 dun. But this is a podcast about everyday life, and he mostly talks about like gaslighting and um, people's emotions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to one of his episodes. He had a guest on there that had been, abused and gaslighted for a lot of her life, and they just sat there and talked about that and how gaslighting is kind of a horrible thing.
It
So
is, and it gets the word gaslighting, like the phrase gets overused.
yeah,
In like the wrong situations, and then when people are actually gaslit, like nobody wants to take them seriously because they're like, okay, you're getting gaslit, whatever. And it's like, no.
it's a form of controlling people.
When somebody literally like you physically watch somebody do something and then they try and make you feel like you're crazy and make you believe that it never actually happened.
Yeah.
That's not healthy. It's
Right.
not good. It's like you said, it's control.
Yeah,
It's coercion and control.
yeah, it's pretty much controlling somebody. But he had a good show. It was pretty interesting, the one I listened to. And so if you want to check him out, go over to Anonymous Andrew on Spotify or most of the major podcasting platforms and check him out.
All right. That sounds pretty cool. Shout out to Andrew. I believe he's putting us on his episode this week. So thanks for the support, friend.
It's kind of funny. He's doing our promo as well. So
y'all definitely go check him out. All right. What did you love about this week?
This week, I like that the limb that fell in our yard did not hit our house
or the fence.
Or the fence.
'Cause that fence costs more than our roof.
Yep.
Okay.
But I like that.
Yeah, we
having
had
some firewood. Get to cut up a big old limb.
We had a big old storm this week, and one of the maples in the yard, big branch broke off of it.
Yeah.
And this was like a branch that had been used as like a squirrel home. I'd watched the little squirrels climb up that branch so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it did now.
Yeah.
It did out in the yard. And now there's a big bright hole where the sun can beam down on my red car with black interior. It's fine. That has no air conditioning.
Sorry, babe.
It was hot this morning.
What did you love about this week?
Oh, shit. I love that I finally got fucking tested.
Yeah.
For ADHD.
It's exciting.
And now I just have to wait.
Yeah.
Just have to wait. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he's like, you have a touch of the autism.
I'm pretty positive he's gonna say that too.
So,
but
yeah, it was a little unnerving.
I'm glad that you're getting help though.
I tried to be very honest. Listen, I've been trying.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying. It's been like 2 years I've tried to get tested for this shit. I've been in and out of therapy since I was 16.
Yeah.
And it's not getting any better. It's only progressively gotten worse. And then it clicked when I learned that ADHD could be my issue, and the fact that if you don't get it diagnosed and taken care of, it can make you feel like you're going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It can make you feel like you're going fucking crazy. And nobody listened.
Right.
Except for Dr. Richard. Is his name Richard or Rob?
Rob.
Rob
Durr. Yeah. Rob Durr.
Robbed her. I robbed her. Sorry, Dr. Durr.
Hey, Rob. If you're listening,
he probably doesn't listen to this, but I have to be really careful because y'all know his last name is Durr, so Durr. And I'm like, I know he got that shit all the time in school.
Right.
You cannot say that to him.
No.
Do not bully your therapist.
No.
Psycho guy. Don't do it. That's not nice.
Definitely not.
Right. Well, welcome back to another week. Yay. I'm well aware that I was going to do some conversion therapy camp survivor stories, but again, I needed a break.
Yeah.
From stuff that fills my soul with justified rage.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot. So this week we're gonna get spooky.
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 Yay.
Oh look, I already put all this in here.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh.
So this week we're going to be looking at the Battersea Poltergeist.
The what?
The Battersea Poltergeist.
The how
Batter,
do you spell that?
Battersea.
T-E-R-S-A.
S-E-A.
S-E-A.
Battersea. Which is
There
probably
it is.
not how it's pronounced, but y'all know me, I'm phonetic.
Right.
In 1956, Battersea was a small, poor working family community south of London. The Hitching family lived at 62 Wycliffe Road. The dad, Wally, was a train driver on the London Underground. The mother, Kitty, had been an office clerk but was disabled and a wheelchair user due to chronic arthritis. Shirley was their 15-year-old daughter who worked part-time as a seamstress and was about to start at art school. Wally's mother, Ethel, also lived in the family, as did her adopted son, 20-year-old John, who was like a brother to Shirley. All of this starts one night in January of 1956 when Shirley finds a silver key on her pillow. Her father attempted to try it in every door in the house, but it did not fit in any of the locks.
That's spooky.
He left the key in the kitchen, and the next morning it was once again on Shirley's pillow.
Huh.
That same night, loud banging and knocking noises started.
Oh, nope.
These were so loud and startling that the neighbors felt like they were back a few years during the Blitz of the Second World War.
Wow.
The noises were so loud they could be heard on the street, and it shook the walls, floors, and furniture.
See, I've seen videos of like doors that people have been filming that have knocks like that, and I'm like, nope. I would like run. I'd be out.
And it happened again the next night and the next, and every night thereafter, to the point it began happening during the day.
Jeez.
Shirley is quoted as saying, quote, "The sound was coming from the roots of the house," end quote.
Oof.
The family, terrified and sleep deprived, called the police as well as land surveyors out to investigate, but no one could ever find a cause. The sound would switch between a loud banging and a scratching noise that, quote, seemed to come from inside the furniture, end quote. That's where I go, nope.
Right.
Knocking is one thing. Annoying, yes. One thing, but...
Yeah, I know you. You'd be like...
Coming from inside the furniture, I would take it outside, chop it up with an axe, and then burn it in the fire pit.
With salt.
With salt, bitches. Okay? Don't fuck around.
Salt and iron.
Now, the word poltergeist.
This girl watches way too much.
I do not watch way too much Supernatural. I just watched every season, 1 through 15, and I've seen seasons 1 through 10 at least 10 times.
Right.
It's fine.
She knows exactly how to get rid of a ghost.
And what's funny is I'm still scared of the dark, but like I know how to kill everything, so
right.
Whatever. Now, the word poltergeist is German for... Would you like to know what poltergeist is German for?
Possession?
No. So, y'all don't come at me. I didn't write this down, but if I remember correctly, it stands for Poltern or something like that in German, which means noisy, and Geist, ghost. So, poltergeist is literally German for noisy ghosts. And banging or knocking is usually the first sign of a poltergeist. And so with law enforcement and environmental professionals coming up with no cause for the noise, the events were dubbed a poltergeist. And the family named it Donald.
Donald? Like
yeah.
Donald Duck?
Like Donald Sutherland, who passed away recently. May he rest in peace. Because I had a weird crush on that man when I was younger. He was like old enough to be my great grandpappy, and I was still like, "Hey, Mr. Sutherland, how you doing?" I look weird.
And he's like Kiefer's dad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a deep voice. I think that's what it was.
Right.
The most common second step in a poltergeist is objects moving, seemingly on their own. And this home was no different. There were many reports from family and neighbors about seeing many things moving or even being thrown across the room. This includes sheets, slippers, cloaks, not clocks, cloaks, and pots and pans. Over time, Donald became more and more violent with his moves and would practically destroy the house.
Nope.
I would.
Be like, pick your shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you're going to be in my fucking house? Patty don't get to walk around and just throw shit where the fuck ever she wants to. Or you don't get to come in here and throw shit where the fuck ever you want to either, motherfucker.
Yeah, that would just make me mad.
And you ain't paying no bills? You ain't even doing the laundry? Like, bitch, what? As with most poltergeists, the young teenage Shirley seemed to get the most of Donald's attention. The noises followed her to work. This is why I'm so careful about Patty and why I don't want to take her to certain places yet.
Right.
The noises,
connections through kids, huh? Yeah.
The noises followed her to work, and she was witnessed moving around in her bed involuntarily. This caused her to lose her job, and most of her friends left her as well. People also began to talk about whether or not she was possessed by the devil.
Right.
Wally recounts one night, quote, Shirley said the bedclothes were being pulled under her, so we got hold of them and felt that they were being tugged by force. While this was going on, we saw Shirley was being lifted out of her bed. She was rigid and about 6 inches above the bed when we lifted her out and stood her on the floor, end quote. And that would be when I burn hell.
Yeah.
To get to whatever fucker thinks it can put its hands on my child.
Yeah, that's got to be scary.
I don't give a shit if you are human or demon. Don't touch my fucking kid.
Right.
Don't do it.
It's got to be horrifying.
Y'all look at my face. Don't ever touch my fucking kid. I look good in orange. You see this yellow? Good in orange. Don't touch my kid. A reporter, Joyce Lewis, spent the night at the home sleeping in the bed with Shirley and allegedly witnessed the girl being clawed and pulled out of the bed.
Damn.
And it just kept getting worse. After an attempted exorcism, spontaneous fires would break out in the house. One or two being started by a random lit match just falling through the air. Just poop, there's a lit match. And just, motherfucker, what? Yeah, and this is actually not the first poltergeist that I've heard about lit matches.
Wow.
Being just dropping out of fucking thin air. It's wild.
Hmm.
One fire was so bad that Wally was sent to the hospital with a burnt hand. Scribblings began showing up on the walls and random scraps of paper around the house. Around March of 1956, Donald began giving the family orders about how to dress and who to contact. Obviously, there was like some rock and roll dude at the time that he really, really wanted her to get in contact with. And that was one of the things where people were like, well, why would an old ghost named Donald, who, as you will see in a second, claims to be a dead king from when the fuck ever, why would he want people to get in contact with a rock and roll star? It makes no sense. Obviously, it was Shirley.
Right.
Allegedly, in a letter from May of 1956, Donald identified himself as Louis XVII, or Louis Charles, who was executed at age 10.
Huh.
Which, like...
So he was a kid?
Bitch. Yeah. Yeah. That happened often, sadly enough. Like, if a kid was left to be the king, a lot of times regents would just like make them disappear so they could be king. Real fucked up shit.
Game of Thrones shit.
I'm guessing you've never heard of like the boys in the Tower of London, the two princes in the Tower of London. I will cover that on Rethinking Our History because that's real fucked up.
Okay.
He alleged he escaped from captivity and drowned on his way to England. However, the story changed quite often, leading many people to be skeptical of this claim. Some sources also state that Donald claimed to be a young boy that Shirley
Hello.
had played with as a child.
What are you doing, Star? That was our dog. If y'all are tripped out.
I was tripped the fuck out. Damn,
Just scared my wife to death.
You making me think it's a ghost. You made me think it was a ghost. All right. Yeah, so Donald claimed to be a young boy that Shirley had played with as a child. Of course, many people believe that it was all the work of a bored young girl. During the 12 years the family was under attack, they received between 3,000 and 4,000 notes from Donald. 3,000 and 4,000 notes.
That's a lot of
In the
notes.
12 years they were under attack. Handwriting experts have concluded that it is very likely Shirley wrote them, but some people do not believe in the validity of that area of science. They think that handwriting experts are quacks. Which, like, there is a science to handwriting, folks.
For sure.
However, due to the attention Shirley received, she was able to move out of her parents and support herself. Now, this is funny. After she moved out and got married, Donald followed her to her new home. According to Shirley, Donald would leave notes at each house letting the occupants know what the people in the other house was doing. So he would leave notes at her parents' house to let them know what Shirley and her husband were doing. And then Donald would leave notes at Shirley's house to let her know what her parents were doing.
Huh.
Narc.
The spy ghost.
Such an ass. 3 years after Shirley moved out, her parents received one more message from Donald telling them he was leaving and saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. In the late 1960s, the house was torn down, and what's more, the number 63 is no longer an address on that street. They removed the fucking address altogether. They said, we don't want to fucking talk about it.
Right.
Okay. It's history. Let's not talk about it.
Right.
Shirley swears to this day, although she was 80 in the early 2020s, so I don't know if she's still alive. I hope so. That she had nothing to do with what happened in her home. She claims that she was not raised to lie and play pranks like that, and that just wasn't something she would do. She also states she feels like she had the last bit of her childhood taken from her because she had to deal with it.
Right.
Which is pretty sad if you think about it.
Yeah.
I've thought about lately about the fact that I didn't have much of a childhood. I was one of those people who are like, oh, you're an old soul. Oh, you had to grow up really quick. That's not great.
Yeah.
Tell Patty all the time, enjoy your childhood, sis, because being an adult fucking sucks.
Right.
If you're interested in learning more about these events, Danny Robbins created an 8-part podcast for BBC about it called The Battersea Poltergeist. And that, I didn't find a lot of information on that. I didn't actually listen to this because I actually really don't like listening to other podcasts about stuff I'm trying to research until after I've done my episode.
Sure.
So I haven't listened to it. It is 8 parts. I think it's like 30 minutes a piece, where Danny actually sat down with Shirley for this series, and she was able to give her side of everything that happened.
Right.
The series is part present day investigation and part dramatized reenactments of the events. And that, my friends, is the Battersea Poltergeist.
It's interesting.
You guys go give... Star, can you wait a second? We're still recording. We're almost done, okay? She's over there orphan because I told her she has to speak when she wants outside. So yeah, you guys go give the Battersea Poltergeist a listen. Like I said, you can find it on Spotify. I don't know if it's on iHeart, but I know for a fact it's on Spotify because I looked it up.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us today, folks, and we will see you guys. Do you have anything to add to that?
Not that I know
Did
of.
you want to speak on that?
We've got some cool old pictures of it.
It's quite interesting. I'd never heard of it.
Right.
It just like popped up. Now it's like, where the fuck's Battersea at? That's a cool ass name.
Yeah. There's some pictures of the handwriting on here too.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I don't know.
Wow.
Poltergeist just, I don't know. I would have to experience one before I could say whether or not I believed in
Right.
the validity of them. I definitely don't doubt the possibility. We've talked
Sure.
about how places collect energy and stuff like that. So yeah, I could definitely see poltergeist happening, but
For
I don't know.
sure.
I've never experienced one, so
Yeah.
can't say.
Yeah, there's like a handwriting and then like a picture of a face that he drew on one of them, which is weird.
No, what's even
But
weirder is if you look at the family.
yeah,
Family's fucking creepy looking, okay?
yeah, they are. The little girl is
Like
extremely
the
creepy.
older lady, like
Picture
the
of her.
mom or whatever, her face is like so gaunt and like skeletal looking. I'm just
Yeah,
like, why are you so creepy?
which was, it was a different time back
It
then.
was the 1950s,
That's
and this is in London.
yeah,
So this isn't in the US either, but it just, I don't, it was just, I saw one picture of that family and I was like, y'all creep me the fuck out. They give me vibes, man, and not good ones.
I want to say there's like a picture of them at a seance. Maybe they were trying to like do a seance to
Well, it did
figure
say
it
that
all
they had
out.
tried to do an exorcism.
Right.
So maybe it's from the exorcism.
Could be.
Because if they actually went through the church, I think sometimes they record their exorcisms. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, guys. Well, that is it. And this time I will say we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
See you. Bye.